Okay, beautiful. Well, aloha. Welcome, everybody. My name is Ashley Castro. For those of you who do not know me or have not had the pleasure to meet, I am super honored and super excited to be here with you guys today, talking and sharing about one of my absolute favorite plants on the planet, which is our sacred mama cannabis. And I'm just so excited about this plant. I'm so excited about the leaps and bounds that have been made with opening up truly one of the most powerful allies that I believe we have in holistic healthcare. It is such a beautiful plant, one that I've been using for the past 13 years in my life and really been advocating for and being an activist for, and really truly fighting for the freedom of this plant. And I know, and I see some of you out there that are also on that same path and have been, just want to like, woo! There are a lot of people that I am honored to be in community with and to work with who are also incredibly passionate about plant medicine. I'm going to use the word, I'm going to say it, you guys, about plant magic and plant medicine, because it's truly so powerful what can happen when we align our bodies with what nature has provided us and has given us. And the stories that I've just seen come out of CBD has been so powerful. So we're going to dive in a little bit to that today. And just want to say welcome to everybody who is brand new. Who here is brand new and you were invited to this call? You were invited to this call by a friend. Maybe drop a comment or just raise a hand. Who here is brand new? Beautiful. Just want to say huge welcome, and I'm a hugger, so a big hug to all of you. Awesome. So beautiful. Okay, you guys, I want to talk for those who are maybe brand new and you just have no idea, like, what is CBD? We're going to go basic. Let's just break it down here and get real basic. So we have this amazing, beautiful plant called cannabis. And cannabis, like most plants, like every plant, has tons and tons of different species. And so we have this species that people are familiar with by the name of hemp, right? You guys are familiar with hemp. And most people are familiar with like hemp and cannabis, and there can be some confusion. So I want to just like clear up the confusion around this plant right here and say that really what they classify this, it's cannabis still, but what they classify as hemp is any cannabis plant that has less than 0.3% THC. And what is THC? THC, just like CBD, is a cannabinoid, which is an active compound that is found in the cannabis plant. There are about 400 compounds found within cannabis and about 60 that are owned just by that genus of plants. And the two, and a lot of those are called cannabinoids. And cannabinoids work with our endocannabinoid system. Yes, that is right. You actually have an entire system in your body, an incredibly powerful system, a system of regulation. The endocannabinoid system helps to regulate all the other systems in your body. Your immune system, your response to stress, your ability to sleep, your ability to even lose weight. Literally every single system in your body is influenced by the endocannabinoid system. And some of the most powerful, potent cannabinoids, which our body has these receptors for and is literally craving, are found in this beautiful plant cannabis. Now, the cannabinoid that has been given the most attention over the past 40, 50 years is the cannabinoid of tetrahydrocannabinol, which is THC. That is the psychoactive part of cannabis, which makes people high, which gives you more of that psychedelic euphoric effect. And that has been demonized. It was made illegal back in 1937. Marijuana, they just threw out hemp, they threw out cannabis, they threw out all of it, despite knowing all of the incredible medical ways that we were using this, not to mention that hemp was a staple in our agriculture system. I could go on, we'll stay focused, but all that to say, now we are finding ourselves in a time where a lot of the laws have been changing over the past 10 years, especially, I'm out here in California, if you're in Colorado and Oregon, we live in places where now it's fully recreational. Woo, hallelujah. But all that being said, there has been so much stigma, so much demonization that's really just beginning to soften. and beginning to lighten, to where you can talk about your grandma, with your grandma and your mom and your dad, your aunts and your uncles and conservatives, and everyone is really talking about this plant right now. You guys can like agree, right? Like it's just common now. Everyone knows, like there's science to back it up. So what's really beautiful, really incredible, and really amazing, and what we're here to specifically talk about today is this other cannabinoid that's present in cannabis that is getting so much attention and so much research and so much study and so much praise. And this is cannabidiol. This is CBD. And what is CBD? So what we're learning and what we're discovering is that out of all the cannabinoids that cannabis contains, cannabidiol is the one that is responsible, the most responsible for the therapeutic benefits of this plant. The therapeutic benefits, meaning who here has anxiety and would like a little bit of stress relief, or has trouble sleeping, or just, all of those therapeutic events that people could desire out of this plant, but maybe not necessarily wanting to have the psychoactive part be around or have that high. CBD is your best friend. I know you guys probably can't see this, but CBD is what is being studied so much right now. There's so much study and research. If you Google, links out there with autism, cancer, crazy stuff with our immune system, all sorts of diseases like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. The links that are being made in these studies are just incredible. So I would love to see, drop a little love in the comments if you've had an awesome experience with CBD. I know we've got a lot of people here who are here because they love CBD so much and they're wanting to spread it and spread the knowledge. So drop some love if you've had an awesome experience with CBD. Yeah, this stuff is, the stories that I have been hearing are just absolutely incredible, amazing. And so that is what we're wanting to talk about today, is CBD. I think most people here now can kind of understand, right? Like, do you guys feel you have a pretty good understanding of what CBD is and where it comes from and how it works and how it works with our bodies and what it can do for you, right? Does everyone feel good on that? And we will open it up for questions at the end for those who have questions. So I want to talk, now that you kind of know like what it is and who we are and all that stuff, I want to talk about what is so important when you are looking for a source for CBD. And why I'm here and why so many of us are here is because right now, as you know, with anything that is revolutionary, when things are being revolutionized, there is a real lack of regulation and standardization in process, to the point where actually, did you guys know that CBD products cannot be labeled as organic? Even if it's completely grown organic and all that stuff, CBD cannot be labeled as organic. So there's all this unregulation. So knowing your source is so incredibly important. Knowing your source, knowing how it's made, how it's resourced, because there are ways where they are taking massive amounts of commercially grown hemp that is then sprayed with pesticides and all sorts of junk, and then they're taking it and then they're using this crazy alcohol, ethanol, like extraction process, and giving people product that is so low quality and actually filled with contaminants and pesticides and etc. So how do you know, and how can you make sure, like when you go to the store, you're searching online, that you're getting the absolute best quality ever? Well, that is why we are here, and that is why I am personally here, is because there is an incredible company called Purium that started 25 years ago with a mission to help people radically change their lives through the plants that are available to us. Dave Sandoval and Amy Venner have been on the front line of healing superfoods, organic foods, the agricultural organic food movement. I mean, they are just like OG crusaders for holistic health and wellness. I love them so much. And so I actually partnered with them about 2.5 years ago to spread their mission of ending some of the unnecessary human suffering on this planet and really shifting the paradigm of health and of wealth. And they just came out with CBD this year. And I know that Dave, the owner of the company, has been wanting to do this for a long time. He's been working on this, and we were really just waiting for a lot of the laws and the regulation around this to open up and become a little bit more friendly for us. And as soon as it did, Dave was on it. Whew. And Dave, you guys, I've met this man. I've spent such quality time with him. And he straight up told me, we do not rely, and we do not need to rely on this product to make us money. You know, we created this product after 25 years of being in business, and it is for the people. And we want people to have the best, the access to the best quality for like the most affordable price. So I'm not joking. I've been taking CBD for years. I have done so much research. You will not find a CBD that is this potent of a milligram dosage for the price that it is. If you do, please send it to me because I want to see it. But it is absolutely amazing, incredible, incredible. It's a 1,500 milligram, so you take 6 sprays and you're getting a 50 milligram dose, which is just, you know, for most people, that's plenty. This whole bottle will last you 30 days. Absolutely incredible. Whoever invited you here also has a $50 gift card that you can use. So not only is it already like an incredible price, the first time that you make a purchase, you're gonna get $50 off your bottle, which I think brings it down something crazy to like 80 bucks. I mean, someone can put, the price just shifted, so someone might have to put that in the comments there for me. I did not do my research before this call to get the exact price for you guys, but I'm just telling you, yeah, I'm seeing in the comments here, there is snake oil CBD being sold. So it is so worth it to go to a source that you can really trust. And I'm telling you guys, there is no one more trustworthy in this realm than Dave and Amy and the whole Purium family. So woo, $79 after a discount. Are you kidding me? My goodness, come on. Or you can get a 4-pack and it ends up being even cheaper and you can share that with your friends. Which brings me to something really, really important that I want to talk about definitely before we go into Q&A. So I want to talk about sharing with your friends, and who here is here because a friend shared this with them. And you were like, yes, I'm looking for CBD. I need a good source for CBD. I want to learn about CBD. Everyone is looking, almost everyone is looking for this or could benefit from this in some way. I don't know a single person that can't benefit from CBD. I really don't. And so here's something that's so beautiful. As soon as you start taking CBD and you start having an amazing experience with it, actually, before you even start taking it, as soon as you tell people, I just ordered CBD, do you know what's going to happen? All of your friends are going to say, where did you get it from? Where did you get it from? Tell me all about it. Because, and I've seen this happen in my life. It's the leading edge right now, and people are really looking for that good quality source. So here's a beautiful thing that Purium has also done, is they've created the most incredible referral marketing program. Just a peer-to-peer sharing, we call it the social sharing economy, like Uber, Airbnb, whatever it is, where you have a code. So your friend that invited you here, who's a part of this little mission, has one of these codes to give you. And here's the magic of this code, is if you have someone reach out to you and say, tell me what's up with that CBD. Yeah, I want to check it out. Say, hey, here's the website. Check it out. Here's a cool video. If you want to try it, I can give you a discount for 50 bucks off. And you create your own personalized code that you can send to your friends via text message, send it to them on Instagram, send it to them on Facebook. And when someone goes and uses your code, not only are they getting $50 off their CBD purchase or whatever else they might want to get, because there's a ton of other incredible products that Purium has, but you are going to earn, as the person that shared that, you get a 20 to 25%. You earn 20 to 25% on whatever the dollar amount is that they spend. So you share a bottle of CBD with someone that's about 80 bucks and you make 16 bucks. You make 16 bucks for sharing a bottle of CBD with people. Like, it's incredible. So I know for me, that's just created this incredible way for me to earn a little bit of money on something that I'm already passionate about, that I'm already sharing with, you know, people with, and people that are just asking me about it. One other really powerful thing about how this works is that Purium is really in it for the long term and for being a heart-centered company that's about giving. So you share this $50 gift card with a friend of yours. They get a bottle of CBD. They get a discount. You earn that money. Now, guess what? Guess what also happens? So let's say they fall in love with it. They fall in love. They're like, I love this CBD. I'm going to order 4 bottles next month. Or they end up getting some more stuff. Basically, any time that person would ever go and place an order again, they are connected to your personal little CBD superfood shop, and you actually continue to earn that 20 to 25% commission on whatever it is that people are purchasing. So you have the opportunity to participate. I participated in like every referral program out there, like doing Lyft and doing Airbnb and doing like my passion planner and sending all my codes to all my friends, and partnering with all these different companies through Instagram to share their products. And I will say, never, ever, ever has a company provided me with the opportunity to create residual income. And that they said, hey, even if you just bring us a customer once, anytime they continue to shop, we're going to keep paying you. So you can start making money while you sleep. It's the most beautiful thing ever. And the reason why I feel so passionate about wanting to share that, like in conjunction with the CBD, is because number one reason why people are turning to CBD, in my opinion, and from what I've experienced, is because people are stressed out. Because people are stressed out. Anybody here feel like any level or amount of stress in your life? And if you look and you start asking questions about why people are stressed out, do you know what probably, I don't even know if this is a real statistic, you guys, but it is in my world, the number one reason for stress, like the number one driving reason for stress, is financial disparity, is that feeling of like, I can't afford it, we'll never get ahead, I'm gonna be stuck in this paradigm that's broken, in this financial system that does not support me for the rest of my life. I mean, it's depressing if you look right now at where the world is with what we can expect out of like going to college and like having your 401k and like retirement. I mean, it's kind of a dream that doesn't really exist anymore. And I know for me, becoming an entrepreneur and like taking my life into my own hands was really the only way out of that place of stress and just feeling like I was gonna just like crash underneath the pressure of just being on this planet, and let alone trying to like have a family and have kids and all of that. So Purium has been the biggest blessing, not just because their products have absolutely changed the cellular makeup of my body and have made me vibrate at such a different level, but because then I also have been given the heart-centered, mission-driven opportunity to turn around and just share that with others and receive monetary, compensation in return. It's so beautiful. And now I'm in this position, and a lot of us are, of supporting others to do that, and really building a legacy here of people who feel passionate about changing the world and getting products into people's hands that are really going to help improve the quality of their life, rather than, just being kind of plugged into this, again, like a medical system and all this stuff that really is failing us in so many ways, on so many levels. So I want to really just give a shout out to all of the people here who are revolutionaries, world changers, game changers, for being here, for showing up, for saying yes in whatever way, for looking for alternative answers to some of what might be ailing you, whether that is physically and you came here to just learn about the product, or if that's financial and you came here because you were excited also to learn about the business opportunity. I'll say, you guys, Purium offers both things so beautifully. So whatever you're looking for, health, wealth, community, purpose, I mean, this is the package. We've got it all right here. And I know like all of us, we're just so excited to open our hearts to you and, share this beautiful mission with you guys. And we hope that you feel inspired to maybe turn around and share that with others. And yes, there are some beautiful chats going on over here that I haven't been totally reading, but like just amazing, amazing stuff. And then I feel pretty good. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. If we want to go ahead and open it up for a little bit of Q&A. Yes, great question about what other ingredients are in there. So yeah, the bottle has 1,500 milligrams. So if you do 6 sprays, it's a 50 milligram dose, which most people feel good with that. I mean, you can do up to, some people who are doing incredibly therapeutic dosages are doing up to 500 milligrams. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. I say start with 50 and work from there. So we have our cannabis oil. And then we have an organic, the carrier oil for it is an organic based hemp seed oil. And then it also has, just for a really nice flavoring, it has a peppermint oil with a little bit of a stevia leaf extract. I have tried, I have tried some CBD products that I actually could not take, and my tolerance for taste is great, but like, you know, actually could not ingest. And this is the best tasting CBD by far that I've ever had. It's actually like refreshing and yummy. So I'm actually not sure. So it doesn't have any sugar in it. Stevia shows up as a completely zero, like there's no actual grams of sugar in stevia. Stevia leaf, it's just a leaf that has a sweet taste. So that's the magic of stevia leaf, is it doesn't actually put any sugar content into it. It's just a very sweet leaf. Okay, you guys, I want to go ahead and open it up for questions. If anybody wants their voice to be heard, has questions they would like to ask. But I want to just let you guys know that if you are here and you're interested and you're wanting more info about placing your order, make sure that you get back to the person who invited you here, because they're going to share that code with you for that $50 off. And also, if you had interest in the business and the business opportunity, make sure that you talk to whoever invited you here as well, so that you can get your own codes and activate those codes right away, so that when you order, you can share with a couple friends and they can get theirs too. So I'm actually not being able to keep up with all the stuff coming in the chat. So rather than get distracted by that, I'm just gonna go on mute and I'm gonna open it up so that you guys can go ahead and answer your questions. I also will drop a video, a link here that breaks down, so Phil, I think what you're looking for, brother, is probably going to be our actual lab report, which we have on our website. There's an actual lab report of the breakdown of everything. So we'll post that here as well and get you hooked up with that. Awesome. Yes, lab report. And we do have, just to answer, because I did see that question, we do have the isolate as well as the full spectrum oil in there together. So here's the thing, is that Dave has created his own special formula, so he's not going to tell anybody what that is because it's his very special, like, trifecta. That's kind of what makes everyone's CBD really unique, is how they're putting all those elements together. And so Dave, he is just like a plant genius. I mean, I trust him more than anybody with plants, to be honest. So it's amazing, it's powerful, but yeah, we'll hook you up with a lab report for sure, and all the info that we can give you. Absolutely. Beautiful. Okay, cool. Any other questions? I want to open it up here, or comments or feedback from anyone, stuff I might have missed. We're going to open it up. Okay, I see a question about bioavailability. I love this question. Yes, feel free to switch to audio. If you have questions, you can just pop off audio, because I love hearing your voices, and then I feel like we're having a conversation and I'm not just like robot woman, like I'm not the only voice being heard. So Sarah is dropping. Sarah, you're awesome. Thank you so much for all these links and all the stuff that you're putting. I want to speak to a moment about bioavailability. So do you guys remember when I mentioned that there's a lot of excitement around CBD right now, right? There's kind of this revolutionary, like, opening up around this. And so one thing that happens whenever we see that, is there's this thing called hype. Who is familiar with the word hype? So this is just something that you want to be really, really careful about, is hype. And I know that I'm excited. I promise you guys, this is not hype. This is pure joy and excitement. But something that hype is, and when I was first, because I've been a cannabis activist for a long time, I've been using this for a long time. So when all these CBD companies started coming out and started making just these CBD oils, I was hit up by every single friend that I had about CBD. And one of the things that I started seeing everyone talk about was like, our CBD is nano enhanced, and like our CBD has the like lipodermal da 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 da. I'm like, okay. So pause before we even go into all those technical terms, which is probably not even necessary. This is one thing that I feel so powerful and passionate about speaking about in regards to this plant, is that this plant needs no help interacting with your body. This plant needs absolutely no help interacting with your body. Your endocannabinoid system was meant to receive this. There's actually a huge theory that one of the reasons why we have so much sickness and so much disease is because we completely, in the between 1910 and 1937, we completely wiped out all of the hemp that was on this continent. And hemp used to be one of the most staple natural agricultural resources here. And so what happens when you interact with someone's environment, with a creature's environment, when you change their environment? You mess everything up. You mess everything up. So we completely got rid of hemp. We completely got rid of cannabis. And now we're no longer being naturally exposed to, even just exposure to the pollen and exposure to the plant can get some of those cannabinoids in your system. So when people are coming up with all this fancy terminology, like fancy languaging about, they nano enhanced it, essentially what that means is they made it smaller. They made it smaller so they can make the molecular structure of it smaller so that it goes into your body more quickly, so that it passes through your body more quickly. Something that I've learned and I can really attest to is that you don't need that with CBD. CBD is a marathon, if anything, not a sprint. I would not even tell most people to expect. Some people will take sprays and feel it immediately. Other people, I'm telling you, take it for a whole month and see how that shifts, because everyone's endocannabinoid system is different. So all that being said, you can do a little Google research even on like why nano is not important, or why all that stuff. But one of the things that happens is when they use those technologies, they're very expensive technologies to get. And so once they have it, then they can charge a lot more by saying it's nano enhanced, but it's not necessary for that to happen in any way. This plant, again, will interact with your body perfectly and amazingly. One of the reasons I love this one also is because it's a spray, and a lot of the companies are like droppers, and it's just messier and different. I just love a live demo. Woo! Okay. Beautiful. Who else has questions?
Yeah, I've got a couple. Let's see. Can you use this as a topical also?
This one is not meant to be as a is not meant to be used topically. It really is more powerfully meant to interact with your body internally. Although I think a couple people have tried.
Well, I mean, if it's just a distillate, distillate, a full spectrum, and a pure hemp oil. I mean, there's no reason it can't be. It might be a little sticky.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Yeah, okay. I think sublingual is faster though.
Agreed. Yeah, the sublingual will be faster than putting it topically on yourself topically anyways. You absolutely could put it on topically. The reason why we're not encouraging that and supporting it is because the peppermint oil can be sensitive on your skin directly. So it would be cool if we came out with like a salve or something. That might be in the future. But yeah, for right now, just.
Well, I'll come out with it. I'll make it.
Nice.
For sure. So you said there's a little bit of, was it peppermint oil in there? Is that mixed in? So I was under the impression there's 50 milligrams of the CBD, 50 milligrams of the hemp oil. And so is the peppermint in addition to that, like over 100 milligrams for that dose, or is it a percentage of the hemp side? Peppermint.
Yeah, gotcha. So what you're getting in those 6 sprays is you're getting a 50 milligram dose of the cannabidiol. The other stuff is just extra. That doesn't like count milligram. Yeah.
And so you're saying 6 sprays for a dose?
Exactly.
And that's your one of 30 days, if you will.
Exactly. And also, Phil, I'm seeing a lot of comments over here that actually people have used it topically, and yeah, it totally works. So yeah.
Awesome.
A little tingly we're hearing.
Awesome. I got a few more questions I don't want to hog, but I mean, I'll wait my turn. We'll see, probably something to get to.
Okay, perfect. And this actually, it reminded me of something that I wanted to speak to that we have not even addressed. And so this is something that, again, I want to go on account of saying, I know that this probably doesn't need to be said, but I will say it in case anybody did think, I'm not a doctor. So I'm just the woman with experience and sharing my personal experience. So a lot of you might not know me, but I have quite a big community on Instagram. And I've been a pretty big advocate on there for use of this plant during pregnancy, during breastfeeding, and all of that. And it's one of the things I get the absolute most amount of questions about. So many questions. Can I use this while I'm pregnant? Can I use this while I'm breastfeeding? So again, I want to say I'm not a doctor and I'm not speaking for the company here. I think that the company would probably say, check with your doctor, because that's, you know, that's what we need to tell you guys. I also do feel like we're talking about revolutionary stuff here that has not had tons of extensive research on, but what we do have is we have people's experience. So I want to say, just from my experience and the experience of so many in my community, this is one of, and has been one of the most supportive plants for me during the childbearing years, during pregnancy, during birth, during postpartum, during healing, emotionally, mentally, physically. It has just been so incredibly supportive. And one of the things that's so amazing is that CBD, there's really no contraindications with it in terms of the legality, because it's available everywhere. It's just hemp based. You're really not going to find, you're not going to find many people giving you a lot of gruff about it. So it's beautiful because you can get all those incredible therapeutic benefits without maybe having to go into this other territory of using the full plant, which again would be up to your personal discretion, and I'm also all about. But really with CBD, it's just such a powerful way that you can get this into your body. And one of the things, if you look into it, is that the endocannabinoid system, it's so incredible. There's actually cannabinoids in breast milk, and the endocannabinoid system is what is responsible for making our children hungry. And it's just so beautiful. So like, again, this is just something that we are really designed and meant to have, you know, in our bodies. Yeah, the amount of peppermint in pregnancy, it is just so small. It is so small. You would have to be taking such incredibly large doses of peppermint for it to cause any type of like uterine contractions in any way. So the peppermint is absolutely fine. I drink peppermint tea like all the time during pregnancy, and yeah, this is all great. Okay, you guys, so I just want to make sure that I spoke to that and just, you know, was really a voice for advocating around that.
Yeah, I want to advocate real quick too. It's really important that we all experiment on ourselves and even other sources of CBD, not just this one product. Everybody's body's different, and there's certain things that, say, doctors have been prompted to, you know, let's say adhere to protocol type deals, and only you know your body and your truth, you know, so just experiment on yourself, please.
Awesome.
Ashley, I was wondering if you could just share a little bit about why our price is so low in comparison to other companies.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Absolutely. So yeah, I was kind of speaking, I was speaking about it a little bit, and that really one of the reasons why we're able to provide it. I mean, $79, it's just absolutely incredible for the amount of like the dosage that you're getting. And so there's a lot of reasons for this, but one of the reasons is that you are basically getting access directly from the manufacturer. They are not putting this in Whole Foods and then marking it up 30, 40, 50% and then selling it to the consumer so that Whole Foods can get more money. They really have created a system in place where they have incredibly long-standing relationships with the farmers and all of their products. They've been doing this for over, you know, for about 25 years now. And so again, what I had said about when Dave came out with the CBD product, and he really even made this statement of, you know, we're not financially dependent on this product, and we really want to be able to get it into the hands of people, you know, make it as accessible as possible. So that's really their heart and their mission, is to make it as accessible as possible to everyone. CBD for the people. I mean, plants really are, like I'm a student of folk herbalism, and we say all the time, like, plants belong to the people. They absolutely do. And so I want to say it's kind of scary and crazy that there are actually pharmaceutical companies now who are coming out with like prescription, like cannabis, that they of course made in a lab, but it's just absolutely insane, and it makes me even more passionate.
Marinol, that synthetic's called Marinol.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and so I just feel even more passionate about really, sharing high quality sources, and accessible sources in terms of the price. Again, if there's one out there that was like a better match and all of those things, I would love to be sent that anytime. So yeah.
Hi. What's the ratio? I know that like different oils have different ratios of CBD and THC, and how does that impact, like what does that mean exactly? Because this is really like the first CBD oil I've had ongoing experience with. So I'm curious about that ratio thing.
Yeah, awesome. So if you guys check out the lab report that we have, you'll see, because I get this question a lot about like legality and stuff, you'll see that in order for the cannabis plant to be considered a hemp plant and for it to be pretty much legal, I think it's legal now in all states, it needs to have less than 0.3% of THC. And on our lab report, so we are sourcing our hemp from hemp farmers who know what's up and have been doing this for a really long time in Kentucky and Colorado. And so all that being said, their hemp actually and our CBD test that you can see on the lab report, the THC, and it's less than, it's 0.03% THC. So in terms of what I'm hearing you say of like ratios with CBD and THC, ours really is just like the purest CBD that you could possibly find with no THC. It has like the smallest amount of THC that you could possibly have, which is what a lot of people are looking for. Now, there are people who are looking, and what you'll see them talk about is finding these perfect ratios for themselves of THC and CBD, because just as with any plant, all of the compounds work together in a certain particular way. And so for some people, there's these certain ratios where they look, and this is in places where it's legalized and you have any access to THC, which most states don't have access to that in any way. If you live in a state where you do, then you can go and, maybe search for products that have THC. As soon as you have THC in your products, you're like doubling the price though, or tripling it, because THC is so much more expensive just because of the availability, because it's only legal in like a couple states. So yeah, it's a conversation, like what do all the different ratios mean? I mean, you could read a whole article on like every different ratio, how the effect on the body. But yeah, does that answer your question?
Thank you. And then there's also different cannabinoids, right?
Yep.
Different. And so do you know like which one is in our CBD? Because I'm just starting to learn about it, but I know that there's different strains of cannabinoids.
Absolutely, absolutely. So cannabinoids, there are about 60 of them that exist in cannabis. And then in the hemp plant, which has less than 0.3% THC, there's a little bit less that you'll find. So again, if you look on the lab report has all of the cannabinoids that have tested as being present in here. But really, there's only one main cannabinoid that we're talking about right now, which is CBD, which is cannabidiol. And so cannabidiol is the one that all the research is being done on and that all the studies are being done on. And that's really getting the most attention right now in the scientific and medical communities on the therapeutic benefits. So there's like CBN and there's there's tons, but CBD is really like, it's the one. So that's why that's mainly what ours is composed of, and it also makes it accessible to people in all states. Yeah.
I don't know how to.
Hi, Courtney.
Hi. Okay. Yay.
Yay.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm new. I just actually finally enrolled today, and I'm on, I know Robin Tall. I was supposed to be on the call yesterday, but I just couldn't be on it. But so I don't really know too much about CBD, and I haven't really had much experience with, honestly, marijuana in general, because I've had such honestly bad reactions to THC. And so I'm definitely trying to get off of like my prescription drugs, especially for ADHD. And I want to be someone who can really advocate using plant medicine. But I've just had, I guess, experiences where I get actually more anxious. But again, that was more, I think, using THC, and I've never really used CBD. So, I mean, what does CBD do? Does it just like chill you out? Does it help you focus? Like, I just have no idea. So,
yeah,
it gives me panic attacks. I literally freak out. Like, everyone's like, it's supposed to calm you down. I'm like, I'm freaking out in the corner.
I totally get it. So this is where, again, you're in the perfect place, and so many people have this same story. So many people are looking for a product that has no THC. They want no THC at all, because THC, again, is the psychoactive component. That part that brings on like paranoia and anxiety, not in everyone, but in a lot of people, full-blown panic attacks, actually vomiting and getting sick. That is THC. That is what THC does. Now, that affects people in different ways. Again, our endocannabinoid systems are all different, just like all of our systems are different. So that affects our bodies in different ways. CBD is when you hear people saying like, oh, it makes me feel so calm. It makes me feel so relaxed. I feel so much more peaceful and at ease. I have a better time sleeping. I have a better appetite. That is all CBD magic. So I can't wait for you to try CBD, because especially with anxiety, ADHD, all of that stuff, it really goes into your endocannabinoid system, and that system touches all of your other ones to help bring them into homeostasis. So it's a balancing. If you research the endocannabinoid system is a system of regulation for all of your other systems. It influences almost every other system in your body. So the CBD and like the CB1 and CB2 receptors in our endocannabinoid system are the ones that are really mainly linked to our response to stress, our response to anxiety and overwhelm. So it's just gonna like, woo, bring you back into alignment wherever that is for you. Yeah. Does that answer?
Awesome. Yeah, that answered my question perfectly. Thank you so much, because I'm excited to share this with people who had the same problem I do. So thank you.
Oh,
Yay.
So glad to hear your story. And, yeah, that's so awesome, girl. Glad to have you here with us.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I want to just remind people, because I know we have had some people hop back on. You guys can, I'm going to drop the link here actually. You guys can go to puriumcbd.com. And that's actually the order form. And then text whoever invited you, whoever invited you here, and just ask them for their gift card code.
Courtney, thank you for sharing that. Your situation is going to make my sales pitch better, my toolbox, my knowledge for sure more thorough. I had some more questions about the CBD specifics. I've heard of people with THC allergies. Does anybody know if they've ever heard of a CBD allergy?
I haven't.
Yeah, maybe that's something that we should all look into for sure. Yeah, if we can't answer it now. Google, here I go.
Woo! You let us know, Phil. I love it.
Actually,
sure.
I'm happy to speak to that. One of my best friends from college is now one of the foremost doctors using both marijuana and CBD with literally hundreds of thousands of patients now. And there's an amazing documentary that he's featured in, but I've basically heard him say that there are no contraindications to CBD or THC. There's not like allergies for anybody.
I have an allergy to THC. I get allergies.
Yeah, sure. Yes,
Okay.
you would want a 0 THC ratio then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Other people for effects and for, I don't know, maybe absorption and bioavailability. Other people use a 2-to-1 or a 50-50 or 20. The next one would usually be like a 22-to-1 CBD to THC ratio. There's kind of 3 main tiers inside there that aren't pure either way.
Robin Tala brings up a really good point here too, that allergy is actually pretty nebulous, and so people can have sensitivities, reactions, that sort of thing. And I'd be happy to put my friend the marijuana doctor into the chat, and y'all can check out his work. But I've definitely heard him testify that it's one of those things. And Ashley, you said this too, that there really aren't contraindications to it. That certainly it sounds like people might have some sensitivities occasionally to THC. So yeah, worth a little bit more research.
Hi.
Yeah, if you could share his information, that'd be great. The THC doctor. I don't know if he has a website with any public information. I don't need his phone number. You know what I mean? But yeah, if he happens to have public information like that, that'd be cool.
Love it. Heather, I see you, girl.
First of all, I just wanted to thank you and honor you for leading this call. You are just radiant and vibrant, and I really appreciate all your knowledge and everything you're bringing to the table for us. I had a question. I also had a couple statements that came up just in the last conversation as far as allergy goes when it comes to cannabis. In both THC and CBD form. My kind of thought process comes into pollens that may be present in outdoor grown crops, and then also pesticides and residual fertilizers in non-organically grown crops. So those are some things to consider if the word allergy comes up for you yourself, maybe not to point out to other people, but if it comes up for yourself. And I also wanted to just kind of as a broad spectrum, remind people that the word marijuana is actually a word that was created by the government, and it's a prejudice word. And so I would recommend just if anyone do some of their own research on that. That's like a really great thing to, as we're presenting ourselves and as we're talking about this plant, to really hold it in high regard and call it what it is, which is cannabis. And Ashley, my question for you would be, what are some thoughts you have when we're sharing with our friends around speaking to people who may have been raised in a paradigm where there's a heavy stigma attached to this plant?
That's a great question, because I was raised in a paradigm where there's a heavy stigma against this plant. And so what I would say to that is it's never our job or our responsibility to enlighten anybody, right? And so the posturing that I take around that is getting into a space of curiosity. Getting into a space of curiosity, knowing that if there is openness, a natural openness, I have all of the tools and information that I need to send them. And something that I'm learning and seeing is that now, especially with all of the irrefutable medical, like scientific Western medicine research and studies that have been done, the most conservative person cannot deny that. So I don't think it's, again, our job to be like, oh, I've got to educate everyone and send a family email and be like, hey, you guys, I don't know if you've seen now, but this plant is awesome. And, but getting into a space of curiosity to see if there's that openness. If someone comes to mind that you might think could benefit from it, asking a question, hey, have you heard anything about CBD? Have you seen anything about the CBD research that's been done? And kind of just opening up the dialogue in that way and seeing if there's openness. And if there's not, I would say you just keep doing your thing and let people come to you when they're ready. And when you're in a conversation with people about it, the minute that there is defensiveness, for me, it's all about charm and disarm. So I'm never wanting to go into a conversation to debate. So if it goes that space, I would just hold back from that and say, hey, if you want to hear my perspective and we want to share stories, we absolutely can, but I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. And we don't need to defend ourselves. plants need no defense. Plants defend themselves, and they will continue to defend themselves and speak for themselves. And you know how they've done that? Here they are, back with a vengeance after, like 70 years after it was, demonized and made illegal. People are just like welcoming it with open arms. So just trust that will happen for everyone, I think. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, you got it. You guys, any other questions? We've only got a couple minutes here before we're at the top of our hour. And I want to make sure if there's any questions, thoughts, anything that we're able to get to all of those. So I'm going to open it back up.
Yeah, I got another one more about the CBD. Obviously, the whole thing's about CBD, right? I'm wondering if anybody just for like buzzwords and things for people to bite on. Does anybody know any of the newest, most exciting discoveries in terms of like merits with CBD and maybe like some funky experiments? Has anybody heard anything about new weird stuff? Anything at all? I'm gonna find out. I'll find out because this is my realm, and I'm gonna get back to you guys eventually with some of this stuff, and that way you can have cool, funky, positive test results or something to use as selling points.
That's awesome. I love it. Steph, did someone want to hop on?
Yes, I do. Hi. Just wanted to say, can you hear me? Everybody hear me? Okay, great. Yeah. Also want to say, thank you so much for holding the space for us all and all the knowledge that you bring. But for me, my question is, how quickly can we let our anybody that is using this know how soon this is going to work for them? Is this going to be a day?
Or in that note, how soon we can get it to them too? Shipping, please.
Yeah. So, if they're having some kind of anxiety or a panic attack or something like that, they're going to want to know, is this going to work right away within an hour? Is this going to work? Can I see the effects in a day or two? Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
My little helper here.
I got you, girl. Okay, so that is such a great question. I really appreciate that question. And so I want to be really clear on something, not just with cannabis, but with any plant. Plants and studying plants has been one of my greatest passions over the past 10 years. And plants interact with everyone in a different way. There are people that open a jar of lavender and they smell it and it actually shifts the chemicals in their body. And then there are people that need to drink that lavender tea every day for a month before they become aware of the shifts that it started to have on their body. This is true with all plants, especially because all of our bodies are in different places at different times, functioning with so many different systems and interactions of those systems. So I never tell anybody what they can expect. I never tell anybody how it's going to work for them. What I do and what feels most appropriate is to share stories. Hey, I know people that take this and within 10 minutes, they feel a complete shift in their anxiety. Then I know people that don't actually feel anything really loud and upfront, but after 3 or 4 weeks or a month or 6 weeks, people start noticing, whoa, I'm actually showing up differently in the world. I mean, this is how it is with, every plant. Again, infusions that I take. I've done it where I drink an infusion and that day I just feel amazing. And I've done it where I have to be on that plant for a couple of weeks before I realize oh my gosh, this Siberian ginseng has been really doing something for me. So I don't tell people this is how fast it's going to work. I just say, hey, let me know. Will you let me know how it works for you? You might feel it immediately. You might have to wait a little bit of time. So it's just going to be different for everybody. And one of the things, so just letting people know what they can kind of estimate. Another thing I want to say, just so people can be aware, some people's endocannabinoid system reacts so strong. I had a girl that I shared this with. She took 6 sprays and actually felt sick. Same thing happened to my sister. They actually felt a little like nauseous and a little like overwhelmed. And that was just because their system was so sensitive that it like, whoo, couple more times of doing it and it like leveled out and they were totally fine. And some people, they experiment with taking a higher dosage because maybe their system isn't, you know, I am a cannabis user in other ways. So like when I take this, I take 12 sprays. Because for me, that's how it interacts with my body, because there is such thing as tolerance, y'all. If you didn't know, there is such thing as creating tolerance. So also that's another thing to take into consideration if people are already using cannabis in some form, and then they're like, I didn't feel this right away. I just tell people like, it's working on your cannabinoid system. Like just, you probably can't feel it because all the other THC is like way more loud and upfront. So it's different. It's just different is how I tell people. One thing I want to just like share about, because again, just sharing like my own personal experience, I cannot vouch enough for this during the childbearing years. And if you would please reach out to every mama that you know, every woman who is pregnant, who has young children, who is going through the postpartum period, because who knows about this thing called postpartum depression. And you know that postpartum depression, all the changes in our hormones, like that is not something that just happens and goes away. That is something that happens, and people can be 6-7 years after giving birth going like, what's wrong with me? Why have I never felt the same since giving birth? And so much of it is because our endocannabinoid system is not being nurtured, and therefore our ability to come back into regulation and come back into homeostasis and all of our other systems is lacking. So like my passion just for mamas to get this into their bodies, it's like at an all-time high, and not because emotionally, mentally, I am someone that used to be on prescription medication for anxiety, for being bipolar, for having adult ADHD. I mean, that I was so put through all these different psychiatrists and medications and all of that. All I use now is CBD. Like all I use is cannabis in this plant, really. And I'm not telling anybody to go like quit taking your medication and just get on this. What I'm saying is that we have alternative solutions, especially for those of us that are raising the future and doing this incredibly important job of raising the future. And so
I've actually got midwife and doula friends who will recommend small doses of THC during pregnancy.
I love it. Yes. And so that's like wanting to say like advocate for this and reach out to all of your mama friends that you know.
But you can't tell a pregnant lady to smoke pot. You know what I'm saying?
That is not what I'm advising in any way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's why I love CBD again, is because it is fully available for almost anyone, anywhere, without any contraindications from your doctor, anything like that. And so getting this very therapeutic benefits into the hands of those who are raising our next generation, raising up those youth. Oh, it's just so important, and touches my heart so deeply. So just want to say big love to all of the mamas out there holding it down. And there's so much taboo and so much stigma. So if you're a mama and you've used CBD, please share your story. Get on your social media accounts, like get on your platform, whatever you have to do, so that we can really start to be a part of this revolution that I know we're already all a part of really, bringing a new story to this plant. And for those of you that are just here to learn about the CBD and to learn about the product, and I know we've gone off on this whole, like, let's take over the world, we've gone off on our revolutionary tidbit here. Come and join us. It's really fun. We're having a great time over here, changing the world. So I am going to have to hop off here in a minute because I do have 2 little ones I need to go tend to. But does anybody have any just like burning questions they wanted to get out there that we didn't have time for yet?
Yeah, if anybody else doesn't. I personally am curious.
Real quick, I'm going to let a couple other people go because there are a couple
Yeah,
other
thanks.
people that have their hands up. And,
And this is about the product, though, not just the CBD. But yeah, sorry.
Awesome. No, you're good. You're good. Let's just open it up for Courtney and Lucy real quick. And then if there's time, we'll circle back around. If not, remember, for those of you who are in the Puri Mohana, we meet like this 4 times a week. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. Love it. Yeah. Welcome, Phil. Loving your energy. Okay. Courtney, you're up, mama.
Hey Phil, I'll be super quick. So my 16-year-old takes CBD, and we live in the South. Can you tell? And we, he can be drug tested. In fact, his father may at some point do some of that with him. So I give it to him anyway because I'd rather him take that than anti-anxiety medications, and it's working well for him. So I was just curious as far as drug testing go. I might just buy a kit, but anybody's body is going to be differently, and just see how much you can take before it, if any, shows up. But I've been curious about that with other people who have asked if it will affect their drug tests at work.
Yeah, super great question, Courtney. Amazing question. We actually have a statement on the website about this where it's kind of like a disclaimer where we say we're not held responsible for this not showing up on a drug test. However, it should not. There's no way that 0.03% THC should show up on any drug test. And if it does, it's a very, very like poor quality drug test. I know that sounds weird, but like the testing can, it's weird. There's a whole like disclaimer explanation of this. When people are asking me about that, could it show up on a drug test? What I'm telling them is like, honestly, I can't tell you that it wouldn't, but the chances of that happening are so small. And if it does, and then I say, and if it does, you can take your CBD product along with the lab report to your job. You can show them that you're taking this product that has less than 0.03% THC and that the legal limit is 0.3%.
So standard drug tests are going to be specifically looking for THC. There's nothing available now for roadside DUI tests, and anything that they were to pull on you, I could get that, a lawyer could get that expunged easily with the current state of affairs. So.
Honestly, I kind of welcome it, not to cause him stress, but it will give me an opportunity to stand up in front of people in my community and say this is bullshit. So I'm kind of down with it happening if it does.
Yeah, baby, hunger. Great job.
I love it. Lucy, did you want to ask a question, love? I see your hand up.
Aloha, everyone. Thank you, Ashley, again for beautiful Zoom, and aloha for newcomers if you've never been here. And I just have a couple of things I actually would like to share. I've been using the CBD also on the animals because the animals have the, this case, the same system. So if you know anybody who owns animals, an example, just taking them to the vets or traveling, you can actually, I used to work as a veterinary nurse. So you can just use it for that too, for the cats, for the dogs, even probably for horses. So that's one thing you can also share with you, with your prospects. And also a couple of you, I know you've been concerned regarding the different reactions. But as some of you know, I have son with Down syndrome. So for me, pretty much everything I try, I just have to do it myself and just see it. So as I said, I think it just depends on everybody how we react. And I tried on him a couple of times, and I didn't see any reaction. And I as I said, if you know people, I work with community with special needs children. So there's not really any perhaps specific maybe research on it. So we are the pioneers in one way. And if it's coming from your heart, you just have to trust the process. So I just wanted to encourage everybody in that situation, especially also with autistic children's, so just go for it and share it, and just speak from your heart. So that's just what I want to share. And also one of the ladies, sorry, I forgot your name. You said you're reacting to it. The same with me. For me, I just spread even 2 times and I truly feel it. So yeah, so you just start, with a small amount and then perhaps build. So thank you, Ashley. I just want to share it. So if you guys have people with animals or special need communities, yeah, go explore.
Did you find that you needed a super large dose for the horse?
And it just, again, depends, it depends on the horse.
Start small too.
Exactly. And all the different things. So yeah, but for the horse, probably, I imagine, a little bit larger dose. It depends.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, for cats it's great, as I said, and even for dogs, So anyway, I just want to share that. Thank you, Ashley. Love you all. Hopefully I will see you on an convention very soon.
Yes, yay, I can't wait. Oh, amazing. All right, beautiful loves. I have to hop off now. We're like a little past our hour and I've got some other calls and things I got to get going and doing. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope that this was helpful for you all, and I hope that we can just spread more love for the CBD and get this into the hands of people who are needing it, if that's you or if that's your communities or people you know. Yeah. Woo! Love you all so much. Have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll talk again soon. Aloha. See you guys later.
Thank you.
Woo!